Hail Bird of Prey 5. Hail Karuga.
Kapla!
Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird o' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karuga.
Hello world, it's Bird o' Prey 5, Kupla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, August 25th, 2023. TBIF. Kapla. Indeed. It is Friday. Oh my God. I am so effing tired. Mamo Prey is so effing tired. Sassy is so tired. I think the two of them are actually asleep. And I wish I was. I don't know. It might be carbon monoxide. I have no idea. If it is, I'm all for it. I'll take it. 47 Yorktown first in the chat says, can we just shake on it? Oh, because it's Kiss and Make Up Day. Yeah, a weird day today. National Kiss and Make Up Day. I can't say I've had a lot of those days. I thought it was an interesting day. 47, can we shake on it? No, we can't. So let's not fight today, so we don't have to kiss and make up. Richie Poole with 2 alpacas in the chat. Welcome, Richie. And also a Mom O'Prey, Sis O'Prey, Nephew O'Prey, and the sassy emoji. Sis O'Prey and Nephew O'Prey are touring the great state of Maine, the great northern state of Maine today. More trees than people. I don't really know why she's there. I mean, I know she has a very good friend who lives there, so I assume she's visiting her friend, but I don't know why go to Maine this time of year. It looked nice. I mean, she posted a couple of pictures. Well, one was a video of Charlie eating a donut, a big donut. It looked delicious, but I don't know. I hope she's having a good time in Maine. Sci-Fi Nation, Kapla Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, Bird O'Prey 5, Mom O'Prey, Sassy O'Prey, and fellow nerds. All hail glorious Karuga. And of course, the God Emperor, Berto Prey. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. And I've been waiting for you to do another morning stream. You did one on Monday, I guess, early in the week. The Traveler says, Berto Prey 5, hello world. It's Berto Prey 5, Kapla, Kapla, the Traveler, formerly known as Wesley. And the Traveler says, wait, my line is, greetings, birds, salty turds, and nerds. And if we have any salty turds here, it is not a mistake. About 10 minutes ago, I checked, and Salty was streaming. He's been streaming for hours. So he's playing a game. But if anybody prefers Salty over me, you might want to check. He is indeed streaming. But he's playing a game, like one of those boring games that even I can't watch. So I don't mind telling people that he is live, but suffice to say, if you're interested in anything but that particular game, you'd probably find whatever I discuss here, even in my half inebriated, very tired state, probably more interesting. The Traveler puts in a bunch of the custom emojis. Thank you, Traveler. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. Matt G with his turquoise emoji. Kapla, Matt G. The Traveler says, it's bird time. It's bird time. Everyone bird now. Do the bird. No, that's not a song. The bird is the word is the song. The Family Guy. I thought everybody knew. Don't do it, Peter. I was advised. Everyone had heard the word. Don't do it, Peter. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Oh my God. I had like actual real life friends that would do that song next to me. It used to irritate me incredibly so much. And it had nothing to do with the name Berto Prey 5. I don't understand why my friends would do it to me, except that they knew I didn't like it. But then over time, I sort of kind of started to like it. So joke was on them. Schwario, Kapla, Schwario, formerly Moxley, formerly Sean, BRK, says, I don't doubt it. Mike Richards is greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards, the official package inspector. Schwario says, from now on, it's going to be under one roof. We, the people. These are quotes from A Piece of the Action and the Omega Glory. And I realized last night that last few episodes of season 2 of TOS, you've got the Omega Glory, you've got A Piece of the Action, you got Patterns of Force, you've got The Ultimate Computer, you got Bread and Circuses. It's really a great, I would say the last 8 episodes of season 2 are some of the best non-Klingon, non-Romulan episodes of the series. Just a lot. Tomorrow is Yesterday, which is the season 2 finale. A great episode. To me, I liked it. I liked all the time travel episodes. I just forgot how many good episodes were so close together. The traveler says, "We on the people, hail Jaloja." No, not. Oh my God, no, don't we on the people. That's terrible. And Job yells, "Friday!" Kapla. Job has had a busy week going to Disney World on a hot summer day. The traveler says, "Bird sounds like he hasn't slept in a week. Get some fresh air." I know. I am so effing exhausted. I can't get fresh air because it's raining, and there was, when we opened the windows, they started cutting the weeds in the backyard against the railroad, and it was loud. Schwario says, your futile weapons are useless against us. Sorry, I can't spell. It's okay. I know what you mean, Schwario. The traveler says, "Can I kiss and make out with my ex?" If they say so, yes. You probably don't want to kiss without consent, but listen, that's between you and them. I really don't. Once they agreed to kiss you once, I say, you probably got consent for a second kiss. I don't know about a third. Last on the case is Kapla Bird and the Opres. I hope all of you are well today, but I ain't kissing ya. Well, that's okay. That's okay with me. And last on the case is hello to the mods and the chat. Shario says, "Bird of prey, Kapla Bird. Hope you and the other Opres are doing well today. Do you all have any rain you could send us in Texas?" We do have rain. There was rain today. I wish I could send it to Texas. I feel like the United States should have been building pipelines between all the major cities, so that when one city or region has too much rain, they can send it to another region. And granted, it would be disgusting water, but it'd be water enough to, water plants and trees and golf courses or whatever. Not so much for drinking, but so much water gets wasted and put right back into the oceans and the rivers. We should be collecting it, and then we could send it around the country as needed. And clearly, there's going to be parts of this country that are going to be have droughts. And just, they've so built up that they're drinking themselves dry. There's no amount of water that can keep up with all the people that have moved to the Southwest. There's not enough water for them. So, where in the Northeast, we still have too much water at times. We're not going to be making money. We're not going to be making money by bringing these people back up to the Northeast, so we can sell them water if we had it. We just need the pipelines to transmit it there, to get it where it needs to be. Jim's Landscape LLC, Commodore Productions, says, "Hello, Kapla Commodore. The Travelers is Bird of Prey. Salty has lost his charm. He's old and boring now." No. Sad, really. Missed the movie reviews he used to do. The Traveler, that is not nice. Salty's not, okay, let's be honest. He's always been old. Okay, he's always been old. He's not boring now. what's boring now is that there's no great content, right? Without Star Trek Discovery and real Trek to talk about, there's just, listen, I love Battlestar Galactica as much as the next guy, but the show has been on 20 years. It's been 20 years. It isn't as compelling. And yeah, he was doing good with his Borg stuff, but God, it's so much work. It is so much work doing edited videos, and he's not in a place in his life that he has the time to do them again. So I get it. Live content is easier. So I get it. Playing the game, I don't know about that. I'll agree. That's a little boring, even for my taste. But yeah, listen. And if you do feel that way, obviously, that's your opinion, and you're welcome. You're nobody. You're not wrong for having an opinion, but I'd prefer we not come on and say things in that way, because people could say the same thing about me. God knows, I know these streams aren't what they used to be 6 months, a year ago. Well, maybe 6 months, but a year ago, 2 years ago, I know I had more energy. I know my brain was doing better. I realize I've been living in a fog. My brain is in a fog. I woke up this morning and I was thinking about coworkers I used to know, coworkers who worked with me at Mr. Frank at the liquor importer, but who were part of Mr. Frank's personal staff. And I was thinking, like, oh my God, how could I forget Larry's last name? Larry was one of the chefs. There were 3 chefs. There was Pascal, and I remembered his last name because it was a very French last name. There was David, and I remembered his last name because it was just a funny last name with a lot of extra syllables. And then there was Larry, and I was like, how could I possibly forget Larry's last name? I was like, oh my God, Larry. I started throwing in all these names, trying to figure out what his last name was. And I was like, oh my God, I know I'm a Facebook friend. Unfortunately, Larry passed away like 4 years ago. And, but he is still a Facebook friend. So I knew if I had to, I could go to my Facebook group of friends and find his last name. But I was laying here in my bed, as I do all the time. But I was like almost tearing up. Like, how could I have forgotten Larry's last name? Like, 20 years ago, we used to go hang out. We'd go to restaurants. We'd go to movies. We'd do a whole bunch, not just me and him, but a whole group of us. We all went down to Mexico twice, maybe 3 times. I don't even remember. We went down to Mexico. I mean, we were a really tight group of people. And I never would have thought the day would have come that I would forget the man's name. And I started panicking. I'm thinking, oh my God, if I could forget Larry's last name, what the hell else have I forgotten? And I started thinking maybe I should just start putting the names of everybody I know into a spreadsheet and just make sure I can. And I said, well, maybe just people from my old job, put them into a spreadsheet. And I don't know. I always felt like the day would come I'd want to write about my old job. Then I figured, well, maybe I'll just do videos since that seems a lot easier than writing. But either way, there's so much content and I need something to start. And I thought, well, maybe just start with a list of names. Because to me, once I put a name in a list, just thinking about that person, I'm sure I could trigger, a number of stories or whatever just by looking at their names. I could say, oh, this particular person, oh, I remember the time we did this, or the time this happened, or the time, we were driving back from Los Angeles and Mr. Frank was judging me on how I could drive. And he was saying something and I told him something about Q-tips.
Scanning. Indications negative at this time.
And I said, well, Mr. Frank, they tell you not to put Q-tips in your ears if you read the packaging on Q-tips. And I know I said Q-tips, but Mr. Frank misheard me and thought I said toothpicks. And he cracked up laughing. I was scared. It's like, what the hell's going on? He's laughing. And he's like, toothpicks in the ears. Toothpicks in the ears. And the man was cracking up. He was 80 plus years old, very near death, cracking up because I told what he thought was a joke about toothpicks in the ears. And it was no joke. I was being dead serious. He just thought I was that much funnier. John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki, with eyebrow Dax. Eyebrow Dax. Anyway, so the story of, obviously, I didn't tell you all this stuff about Larry's last name just to leave you wanting. I did remember Larry's last name after, 20 vigorous minutes of trying to remember good old Larry. We called him Uncle Larry. Larry's last name. You guys want to know the mystery name of Larry, one of the chefs of Sidney E. Frank, the chef who was charged with doing the food for the staff most of the time? Larry's elusive last name, the name I forgot. Larry, his last name was Smith. Larry Smith. It took me about 20 minutes. And then I was like, son of a bitch. How could I forget Smith? That's why nothing was working in my head. Larry this, Larry that, Larry Smith. Larry Smith. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Larry Smith. You were a good man. He was a Texan, native born Texan. The only liberal Texan that I know of, that I knew. All the other Texans I ever met were strong conservative types. Larry was very staunchly liberal Democrat. I guess he was probably from Austin rather than the more conservative parts of Texas, but he was a really nice guy, even if I disagreed with his politics 100%. But a nice man. And yeah, took me 20 minutes to remember his last name was Smith. Mom O'Prey said, you could have asked me. Oh, you were asleep.
Yes, thank you. Why did you let me sleep?
Because this was happening at 3 a.m.
Oh.
when I couldn't remember Larry's last name. John Araki with another $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. And Mom O'Prey is now awake, guys. So, you woke up. You were asleep when we started. I was telling everybody I was so tired. You were tired because you were asleep. Sassy was tired because Sassy was asleep. And I was jealous that you guys were already asleep. Sci-Fi Nation says hi to Jim. Jim puts out a link to a behind-the-scenes video. And John Araki got Kissing Dax. That's going to wake us up. Oh, it's Kissing Dax on Kiss and Makeup Day. Awesome. Dax is celebrating Kiss and Makeup Day with a big smooch to Susanna, whatever, Thompson, the Borg Queen herself. Sci-Fi Nation says, Bird, I am still getting used to getting up at 6 a.m. and planning on a show tomorrow morning if you'd still like the link. All right. And another super chat and another Kissing Dax from John Araki. Double Dax. Double Kissing Dax. Sci-Fi, send me the link. I don't know what tomorrow morning will bring, but if I can, I will be there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm not sure I'm going to wake up. Last Son of K says, Salty is more wackadoodle than libertarian now. Wow. I'm sorry that politics is a driving force. If I only watched people whose politics I agree with, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be watching any. I don't know who I'd watch. You said Bird's okay, even if he does love AOC. I don't love AOC. I'm just saying I find her physically attractive enough that I wouldn't kick her out of bed. Gorilla's Random Thought says, Kapla, Gorilla. And so Wario says, tomorrow is yesterday. Yes, that's it. That's the season finale of season 2. Jim's Landscape says, hail to Sci-Fi Nation. Last Son of K says, Salty's whole fear of offending YouTube to protect his channel, but of YouTube, so to speak, it's old and boring. Oh, kissing butt of YouTube. Gotcha. Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, says Jim's Landscape. 47 Yorktown says, weeds in the backyard. That's legal in Canada. Not weed. Not weed, weeds. And I think there was like some bamboo or shit back there growing up against the fence. The railroad comes and cuts it down.
I wish it was bamboo.
Yeah, I guess bamboo would be would make a nice fence. No. Captain Phantom Nerd says, hello, hello, Captain. The Travelers with Bird of Prey. I survived Hurricane Hillary and Earthquake Newsom. That's right, Traveler. Kapla. How are you doing? I forgot about the earthquake and the hurricane.
You should have moved to New York and you're in the basement.
Bravo Frey says you should have moved to New York and lived in the basement. Schwario says, we're in extreme drought in parts of Texas. We need something to drink. Texas is always either in drought or flood. That seems like a problem. The Travelers with Bird of Prey, a hurricane and an earthquake on the same day was kind of weird. Was waiting for the Sharknado to kill us all. You know, I mean, I could understand how the extra low pressure of a hurricane might have caused an earthquake. But I don't know. I bet people are going to say, scientists are going to say it was unrelated. The Traveler says, Bird, you are right. I shouldn't say anything mean about Salty. He's still a great guy. Let's not go too out of the way. Let's not get overcorrected. He's a guy. The Traveler says, Wario, Cali got flooded. Last on the case is raining all day here. Definitely way more rain than typical summers around here, and only low to mid 80s for average high so far this summer. Truly an off summer here. Mamo Prey is blaming the Chinese weather machine. Todd T-Berg, Sci-Fi Tech says, hail Kuroga. Kale Kuroga. The Traveler says his bird lost his brain in the fog. I think so. It must be a thick fog, says the Traveler. Last on the case is The Fog, your great classic movie. Never heard of it. Antiderivative Jill says, hello, listening and driving. Speaking of a great classic movie, Antiderivative Jill just finished her stream on Robinson Crusoe on Mars, or from Mars, or something to do with Mars and Robinson Crusoe. And she had a great stream, her and Scotty.
Scanning. Indications negative at this time.
I left their stream only 2 minutes before it's going live here. John Araki with a $2 super chat. $2 super chat. Yeah, says, release the Bird of Prey 5 mugshot. While I'm aware about certain politics and a certain ex-president getting a mugshot released today from the state of Georgia, I can assure you there is no mugshot of me yet. I've had no cause for there to have a mugshot yet. But even if the day comes when I do get a mugshot, remember, it's innocent until proven guilty. It's not only the law of the land, it's also a very good idea. It's also, just remember, innocent till proven guilty. It's all that matters. T-Berg says, Dr. Crusher should have used the spreadsheet when everyone was disappearing. Yeah, that would have worked. That would have worked. JP says, what up, Birdie? Kapla JPs. Hope you're doing well. Last on the case is the Velvet Fog, a.k.a. Mel Torme. I don't remember that one. John Araki says, hashtag Kronos. Where is Kronos? Kronos, are you out there, Kronos? The Travelers is Bird of Prey. This is like a reverse bird rant, where it's all sad and depressing. Oh, I'm sorry, Traveler. And JP's is lolling at toothpicks. I still to this day was like, toothpicks? At least I knew enough not to correct him. I mean, it took all of my inner power to not correct the man. I mean, the man's so old and so rich and, happy that why would I take that joy away from him? Whether he misheard me or whatever the reason, I knew enough. Just let him laugh. Just let him laugh. And so we did. And I drove him home, and I was happy that he was happy, but he wasn't happy enough to take me out of becoming an engineer and make him. See, that was the thing. I knew this. Here was the predicament I was in. The man is super rich. He can buy and control my entire future. I need to get him home safely. I need to get him home. He's in fairly good mood because he was already pissed because the person who was supposed to drive him didn't wake up on time. So I became the backup driver. I had no time. I didn't even get to pack my own stuff up. It was just, Joe, you're driving Mr. Frank home right now. I was like, what? Don't worry, we'll pack up your room. Just give us your key. You're taking him home. Because Mike didn't show. Because Mike was drunk. Because Mike was having sex with his future wife. He did go on and he married that girl. So you know what? I don't even blame Mike. Mike got a wife. Mike is happily married with 4 kids. 4 kids, and they live in fucking Hawaii. Okay? No, it's not Maui. Mike did okay for himself. And he came out of that weekend just fine. He was just one bad day. Anyway, I drove Mr. Frank. I had to get him home, get him in a decent mood so that he wasn't mad, he wasn't upset. But also, I couldn't be too good. Because if I was too good of a driver, then he was going to say, well, fuck this shit. I don't need an engineer. I need a driver. And he would just say, Joe, I'm going to pay you double, but now you're just going to be my driver. And I would have had to say, fuck, okay. Because, I mean, I would do anything for the fucking money. I mean, we're talking big money. So I'm like, well, if he wants me to drive him, I guess I'm a driver now. All that time wasted in school to be a driver. Yeah, I would, you know what? I would have been happy enough. I would have been happy enough. But I knew while I was driving him not to make it that good of a drive. So I got him home. He was happy. I was happy. An hour later, my stuff made it back. I was really happy. And then he let me go home, and I was super happy. And I remained an engineer for the next few years of my life. So all's well that ended well. And JP says Jones was the last name. No, Smith. Todd T. Berg says his last name was Biden. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Larry Biden, although I'm sure Larry would be a Biden supporter. Last on the cases, I usually remember briefly forgotten things when I sit on the toilet. JB says close enough. Yes. Smith Smith is close enough to Jones. T-Berg says Larry Smith, Curly Wesson, and Mo Winchester. The Three Stooges. Was that Larry's last name? JP says it had to be Jones or Smith. JP says, Lowell, that's right. Blame it on Austin. I know Austin, Texas. It's a little different than the rest of Texas. Sci-Fi Nation says, Smith, it's so common, it's forgettable. JP says, because you know South by Southwest. I want to go to sleep, says JP's. Go to sleep. Don't let me keep you up. Last on a case says, go back 60 to 70 years and further. In Texas, the Dems ran the place. Conservatism in Texas is relatively new. Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, it was a slave state. So it was, of course it was Democrat. John Araki says, booyah. Kissing Dax. JP says, and Araki hits it out of the park. Indeed, he did. Todd T-Berg says, Bird, I'm sorry. I destroyed the Bird Tower and stole so many ships. Let's kiss and make up. No, thank you. No, thank you. John Araki says, double booyah, indeed. And John Araki says, lesbians are visible once more. We love Lesbian Visibility Week or month or whatever. We love visible lesbians at this channel. Todd T-Berg says, pulls out a lipstick. Oh, God. And makeup. Ready to make you up. No, that's not the type of makeup. Hakeem says, that's better than a double rainbow. Indeed. Double kissing Dax is better than a double rainbow. JP says, I make rainbows when I pee. That is TMI. Todd says, JP's, you tried the Skittles only diet. 2, Skittles make you pee rainbows? I've never had a Skittle. T-Berg says, I like Darren slagging salty videos. JP says, earthquake lasers from space. Last on a case says, I don't need to agree with someone's politics to like them, but there are things occasionally that rub me the wrong way. And sometimes little things add up and I just walk away. I get you. The Traveler says, Bird of Prey, what would a mugshot of someone who can't walk look like? A wheelchair? I assume that it would be taken from a wheelchair, with their head up against a white wall or something. Although I don't know what would a mugshot look like of someone who can't even get in a wheelchair. I mean, I suppose they could send someone to take a picture of me in my bed, and that would be the mugshot. Todd says, if Bird of Prey had worked for an ex-president, it would have been what video footage, what server, what boxes, what files. Lol. Indeed. I met that certain president, ex-president, who had those certain files from a certain server. Mr. Frank was friends with them. And let's just say I'm happy my life. It was not a path I might have taken. I didn't want to take it, but it's a path I avoided. Peter Not Finity, Kapla. Peter Not Finity, formerly Captain Finity, and I believe will again be Captain Finity at some point. But welcome. Dan Ben says hi. Welcome, Dan Ben. Captain Finity, of course, streams overnight, my time. I was that stream. Woke up at like 1 a.m. my time last night, and I went from stream to stream last night, spreading my wisdom. Some people accepted the wisdom. Some people did not. It's fine. I was just spreading what wisdom I had to spread. It is up to you to take it or not. The Travelers is Bird of Prey. Mike got a wife. You got screwed. Well, I got a nice story out of it. I got a nice story. Plus, Mr. Frank, he knew Mike and I were friends. So when Mike screwed up, he would give me a raise. Now, I didn't screw up, so I don't know Mike ever getting a raise because of my screw-ups. But I did. We noticed early on that when Mike would screw up, Mr. Frank would call me in with Mike there and give me a raise as like a fuck you to Mike. Now, if you really wanted to fuck you to Mike, he would have called me in and gave Mike a demotion. But he wasn't an asshole like that. He was an asshole like, I'll give somebody else a raise, but not you. As a, you got to do better. Oh. No, Mike is a good guy. He's actually from upstate New York, the Finger Lakes region. He is a guy, he lived in a small town in a relatively small house on a lot of acres, but not a whole lot of house. Really didn't have a whole lot of prospects in his life. He was his first generation going to college. He went to college to do, he was, found out he was good at like Photoshop. So he went and did some graphic design. And he ended up getting a job with Mr. Frank because Mr. Frank wanted a graphic design artist so he could make some labels and shit for like his own liquor bottles and wine and stuff. And so he hired Mike right out of college, and Mike realized this was not a typical, it wasn't to be your typical graphic design job where you just, 99% of college graphic designers get out of college, they get a job at an office, they get, if they're lucky, they get a desk, or what's that called? No, the cupboards that they work in. Not a cubby. See, this is my brain fog. Everybody, like engineers, they'll work in, it's not an office, cubicle. If you're lucky, you'd get a cubicle. But no, for this, he would be traveling between New York and California. He would work out of Mr. Frank's personal house that had some offices in it. Plus, he would basically just be at the beck and call of Mr. Frank all the time. And so, he took the job with the initial entry-level salary of $30,000 a year back in 1999, and he was happy to be making that. He was thrilled to be making $30,000 a year. But within a couple of years, he had already hit six figures, and he realized life was never going to be the same for him. And it wasn't. It transformed him completely. His entire outlook on life. A decade later, he was married with children, living in Hawaii, living the dream. Oh, it got hard. It got hard after Mr. Frank died, and he lost. He did not have a place at the company. I still did. He did not. But he made it through. He made it through. Good for him. I assume, I mean, I honestly, I haven't spoken to him in a year or two, but I saw he was nowhere near the fires, and he was still listed as married, so I assume he's okay. The Traveler says, Bird, if you got arrested, you could say, I won't run, but I'm not coming out. I often wonder what would happen, Traveler, if the police ended up at the door. And like, would they know I'm 2 feet on the other side in a hospital bed? And they start yelling, open the door. And I yell, I can't, I'm in a hospital bed. Would they even understand what the hell I was saying? Or would they just like, here, I can't, and bust down the door? Or, you know, shoot through it. God knows. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out one day. No, okay, no, we will figure it out.
They were at the door not long ago. I opened it.
Yeah, well, Mom will pray here. She can open the door. JP says, well, Mike's pull-out game is weak. Mike had a girlfriend. Okay. So before Mike met his wife, Mike found a girlfriend here in New York City. And she was like a party girl. And the thing, she went to the same college I went to. At the same time I went to college. I never met her. She was a social person where I was an engineer. So even my most social friends were still generally engineers. And my non-engineer friends were still nerds somehow. I don't know. Even my most non-engineer friends were not nearly as party girl type as this particular woman. She was a woman at this point. Anyway, it's 9/11. It's right after 9/11. And they're, you know, a few months into their relationship. And Mike has gone back to San Diego. And the girl wants to go visit Mike in San Diego. But she's scared to fly because 9/11 just happened. So Mike asked me, hey, Joe, I know you're coming out. It was October. It was like a month after 9/11. No, it was November, I guess. It was my birthday. Yeah, it was right before my birthday. So it was November. He's like, I know you're coming out. I was like the first time I was flying since 9/11. He's like, hey, would you mind if my girlfriend flew with you? Would you take her and bring her to California because she's afraid to fly alone. And even though I don't know her, I never met her, but I knew of her. And Mike had told her of me because I was good friends with Mike. And, you know, like, oh, she went to Hofstra? Yeah, I went to Hofstra. So we asked, oh, did you? No, so we didn't know anybody. We didn't know anybody at all, but we both knew each other were from Hofstra. So I said, of course, Mike, I will gladly bring your girlfriend out to you to California. So what did that mean? It means that I had to, and this was annoying for me, I had to, instead of leaving from the close airport to my house, I had to leave from New Jersey because she lived in Staten Island, which, although it's where Mamo Prey was living at the time, it's the worst borough to leave from. So I got, and again, this was all paid for by work. So I got a car to drive me, pick up her on the way, and drove to Newark Airport where we left. And then the biggest issue, the most annoying part, was instead of flying straight direct from Newark to San Diego, there wasn't a direct flight. So we had to stop in North Carolina and then go on to San Diego. So, I mean, like instead of doing it in 6 hours, it was like 9.5, which again, I'm being paid for the day anyway. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody bats an eye. So who cares? So I take this girl with me. She is scared as fuck about everything. She's scared to open her bags. We go through the TSA line, and she opens her bag, and it's fucking full of like lingerie and, you know, the exact type of things you wouldn't expect people to actually pack. And if they did, you would think they would at least put it in the luggage that goes in the belly of the plane. Anyway, then we get on the plane, and she is so scared. She's like, I gotta call them. And this is when they're like, you know, you can't be using a cell phone. And they're like serious about it. And she's fucking making calls when we're ready to take off. And like, even I am like worried at this point, like, is that really going to take down the plane or something? I mean, I had to pull the phone out of her hand and manually shut it off. Cause like, okay, homie, don't play that. Okay, Bird, don't play that. So anyway, by the time we made it to California, she was a nice person. She was okay with me. And she actually was like, I have a girlfriend that would go out with you. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll take it. And yeah, she set me up with someone. It didn't work out, but that was like the first time somebody actually set me up with somebody that wasn't sick, wasn't I don't know, how do I say this? It was the first time somebody set me up with somebody that I was attracted to. Not a lot. Unfortunately, the more I got to know the woman, the less I liked her. And then it all just kind of fell apart. But you know, it was interesting. Anyway, me and her still remain friends. Unfortunately, her and my friend ended up breaking it off not too long after. And then I felt bad because I was still friends with the lady. And he was like, it kind of put me in a bad situation where, like, she hated him. They had a bad breakup. So I was hearing dirt from her about him. I was hearing dirt about her from him and him from her. And I was like, this is not where I want to be in life. Anyway, I ended up in San Diego, where Mike was. And Mike had just gotten, what's that? Engaged. Yes, thank you. Mike had just gotten engaged to his now wife, and the other girl was still angry and toxic and bitter about it. So she was still messaging Mike, and she starts messaging Mike about, oh, how dare he be engaged or something. And Mike looks at me and says, did you talk to so-and-so recently? And I'm being completely honest with him. I said, yeah, I talked to her like a week ago, or whatever. Then he asked me flat out, he's like, did you tell her I was engaged? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, Mike, I don't bring you up. I don't talk about you. I don't bring you up to her. I didn't tell her you were engaged. I promise. But once that guy thinks I was the leak, I know he's never going to trust me. Again, because I mean, who the hell else would have told her that he was engaged? So I said, Mike, here. This was still in the days of AOL Instant Messenger. Okay? So I brought up my laptop. I signed into AOL Instant Messenger. She was signed in too. So I said to her, hi, so-and-so. And Mike is there watching. And she said hello back. I said, I see you saw Mike got engaged. I was like, I see you saw Mike got engaged. And she's like, yeah, I did. He put it in his profile. In those days, AOL Instant Messenger, you had a profile and you could put in like almost like a Facebook page. You could put in your news. And sure enough, Mike had put it in his profile that he had been engaged. So I was so happy that without me saying anything specific, she told us how she figured out Mike was engaged. Mike realized it wasn't from me. And Mike went ahead and erased it from his profile for no good reason, because what the fuck? The cat was out of the bag, but at least he knew it wasn't from me. T-Berg, I read that. The Bird of Prey mugshot. What would a mugshot of something look like in a wheelchair? Okay, we got all that. We got that. Daniel's Hot Topic says hello, Daniel. Dan Ben says, I sent you the information about Star Trek Day. Thank you, Dan Ben. Yes, coming up early in September is Star Trek Day. Dan Ben says, Skittles and Rainbows is the advertising, but I've never eaten them. Yeah, Star Trek Day, there's going to be Strange New Worlds is going to air on CBS on Star Trek Day. It's the first 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds. JP's is Mike was a farm boy. He was a farm boy. That was his nickname. JP's cubicle. JP's is $30K a year in '99 was a rich man salary. Well, it was for a graphic artist, entry level. JP says that the chat just up and die, only seeing mine. Mike Richards is testing. JP is okay, I see you. You were an escort. I guess I was. Wu-Tang Airlines. It was Continental, I believe, which was not my airline of choice, but that was what went through Newark. Is that what it was, Mama Frey?
Yeah, Continental.
Continental. Yeah.
Terminal C.
Terminal C. Stanley says, if a phone call could really take down a plane, they would not even let people carry it. I know, but I wasn't 100% sure. I figured it was not good. JP is laughing my ass off. Bird refers to himself as homie. Well, homie, don't play that. That was a famous line from In Living Color. JP says, oh my God, I'm dying laughing here. Oh, it hurts. Stanley says they wouldn't put the trust and the safety of the plane on all the passengers, making sure phones aren't accidentally on. JP says, weird, I only see 3 participants listed in the chat. JP says, hey, Bird, it's always bros before hoes. No, fuck that, okay? That's not true. I've been hoed before broed before, okay? It's what they say, but it's a lie. It's a damn dirty lie. Let me tell you. Never again. Never again. Never again. If I get the hoe, I'm keeping the hoe. And I don't mean to be talking down about women out there, but the good woman trumps it. Stanley says cock block or pray. No, I wasn't blocking. The Travis is what is AOL Messenger? Mike was a dumbass. No, he wasn't. Stanley says the Traveler is some ancient technology. Mike Richards is slightly more advanced than snow knives and bear skins. The Traveler says I should go back in time and see this ancient technology. Unfortunately, they killed it. They killed AOL Instant Messenger. Stanley says Mike Richards, somewhere between that and smoke signals. The Travis is Bird's gangster today. Miss Lundell's groovy movie says Kapla. JP says, oh, someone did Dirty Bird. Dan Ben says, if you have a chat issue, just check top message set to live or turn the video on and off again. Anyway, yeah, so that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Let's head on over to the day of the week, the day of the month, or whatever. It's National Banana Split Day, Day of Sun Gun. It's Kiss and Makeup Day. That's where we get the title from. That was what blessed us with kissing Dax today, twice. It's National Park Service Founders Day, National Secondhand Wardrobe Day, National Whiskey Sour Day, and Uruguay Independence Day, which I'll always remember from The Simpsons. Well, actually, from a Simpsons meme where Homer mispronounces Uruguay to "you are gay." The Travelers is Bird of Prey 5. You forget, I experienced time backwards. I didn't forget. I didn't know. I did not know. You're like the people from that last episode of the animated series, the counterclock maneuver or whatever. Dan Ben says, I've never had a banana split before. Who wants fruit with ice cream? Are they really that good? I believe Mama Prey does like a banana split. Yeah, Mama Prey enjoys the banana split. It's National Banana Split Day. JP says, wee hoo, time for some whiskey sours. Dan Ben says, yeah, The Simpsons, you are gay, from the episode where Bart flushes the toilet and goes to Australia. That's right. That's right. Homer laughs. Okay, it is time for Wordle, and this time it is the August 25th. We are confirmed. We're using today's Wordle, August 25th Wordle. Guys, a 5-letter word. Yes, Mama Fred. Yes.
Intercom 2.
Okay.
And I'm going in back with a break.
Okay, before you do that, Mama
Oh,
Fred,
do you need something?
could I get a cold water?
Yes.
Okay, guys, a 5-letter word for Wordle, if you have one. Otherwise, I'll make up my own. I'm taking a pill. I'll be right back. Arise. Arise, says JP. Okay. Mr. Lundell says Faust. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Lundell, Arise was first. We got an A and an E. Well, well, let's see. F-A-U-S-T. Well, let's do P-A-U. No, there's S is not. S is not there. Okay. What can we do? P-L-A-T. No. E is still okay. H-E-A. No, it can't be Heart. Heath. H-E-A-T-H. Nope. Okay, that was a bad word. Oh, let's see. E and A. E-A. E-A. No. C-A-N-E-Y. Ganey. Lagey, Laney, Lamey. Wamey, Pamey, Famey, Famey, Famey. Fagey. Nope. Nope. Famed. How can their A and E not be in the right place? So the A is not the first, second, or third. Jesus Christ. Is the A the last letter? Coast. COA. It can't be coast. Water. It can't be water. Okay. Okay. A bore. It can't be a bore. Horny. It can't be horny. It can't be a bore. Plead. PLEAD. It can't be plead. I already did D. It can't be water. Can it be scrape? It can't be scrape. Beach. Can't be beach. Plead. It can't be plead. Coast. CO. It can't be coast. Can't be tease. Earth. EAR. Can't be earth. Lance. Oh, clean. CLEAN. CL. Okay. Well, we know it's, here we go. X. Ocean. 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 Very good. Very good. And thank you for the help. I might have gotten it, but you know, there's no fun in me taking 20 minutes trying to figure out the word. So I appreciate it. I wish you guys were there this morning to help me figure out Larry's last name. All good. All good. Okay. Well, let's move on to let's see. I know it's a lot of politics in the news today, but let's see. Anything particular? Manhattan is the most expensive place to live in the US. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. New York City at all, completely. And it's only going to get more expensive. It's only going to get more expensive. Donald Trump's mugshot makes history. I mean, that as mugshots go, that's not the worst. What's Donald Trump's real height and weight? Who gives a shit? Um, what do we got? Anything of interest? Recent wave of Windows blue screens linked to MSI motherboards. GOP talk of military action in Mexico sparks dire warnings. Bernie Marsden, Whitesnake guitarist, and Here I Go Again co-writer, dies at 72. GTA 6 hacker leaked footage using a Fire TV stick in a budget UK hotel room. What the hell? Nutrition. Spain's women's soccer team refuses to play until sports president is removed. Oh, I saw that. It's Spain. They kiss everybody on the lips. Seriously? Like a 2-second kiss on the lips? It's kiss and make up day, for fuck's sake. They should kiss and make up. Listen, I know you certainly shouldn't be kissing people who don't want to be kissed. But the woman had no problem with it. It wasn't a problem until a lot of people started rabble-rousing. Do fish oil supplements really help the heart? Study. If I read this and it's no, I'm going to be angry. If I read it and it's yes, I'm going to be angry. So don't read it. All good. Star Trek Strange New Worlds make leaps from Paramount Plus to CBS. I read that. They're just going to show the first episode, the first 2 episodes. They're not putting the whole series. The future of AI, it's not ChatGPT or Bard AI or Code Whisper. It's a Texas A&M second-year undergraduate named Hannah. It's Project Prometheus. Disney CEO Bob Iger says company working to improve the quality of their films by reducing both the number of titles we release and the cost per title. Incorrect listing claimed Donald Trump sold Mar-a-Lago before arrest. Whoopsie. Okay. Well, what's the deal with this? In movies, a hacker typically sits at a large desk with a slew of cutting-edge tech. In real life, it turns out all you need is an Amazon Fire TV stick, smartphone, keyboard, and mouse to steal and leak clips from an unreleased game like the much-anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6. And that's exactly what Ariane Kutjaz, a member of the hacking group Lapsus, did while already on bail for allegedly hacking NVIDIA. The 18-year-old infiltrated Rockstar Games, which created GTA 6, going so far as to announce himself as an attacker in the company's Slack channel. The scene of the crime, a UK travel lodge hotel officials had placed him in. Kurtja was moved to the hotel after hackers doxed him, releasing detailed information about him and his family online, compromising his safety. While he was allowed no internet access, something he used a Fire Stick to get around. Further details of his illegal stunt became public following a 7-week trial and his being found guilty of hacking Rockstar and Uber. The 17-year-old was convicted, but unlike Kurjaz, is still out on bail. 2 individuals are autistic, and psychiatrists deemed them ineligible to stand trial. This meant the jury only weighed in on if they believed the crimes were committed, not if they were done with criminal intent. Lapsus, referred to in court as a group of digital bandits, is believed to be comprised mostly of teenagers from Brazil and the UK. They were two of seven members arrested in the UK. They also allegedly hacked Samsung, T-Mobile, and Microsoft. Though the group requested ransoms, it's unclear how much was made from these exploits, if much at all, or maybe millions. Well, where's the pictures? God damn it. I don't give a shit about. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, well, let's check the chat, then we'll move on. Stanley says, how did Trump look in his photo shoot? He looks pretty decent. Looks fine to me. It looks like he's looking down. That's a very high mugshot. I don't know. Seems a bit high for a mugshot. JP says, how about Beverly Hills? That's more expensive. No, Manhattan's more expensive, unless you don't trust the media. Obviously, you must trust the media, right? If the media they wouldn't say something if it wasn't true. Stanley says it says 6'3" and 215 pounds. Yeah, I don't think it's 215. JP says, Jeeves, I was 215 at 18. Then it wasn't fat. Stanley says his last checkup in the White House, I listed at 245. I believe that. So he's either sick or they need to calibrate their scale. That's very possible. Stanley says, is that 6'3" in shoes? Probably. Dan Ben says, you're not getting much in a budget UK hotel room. Stanley says, Bertray, any luck in digging up that Wolf 359 book? Can't find it in any of the usual spots. No, Stanley, I could not. Yeah, I checked the usual spots as well. Ms. Lundell says, American wokeness has made its way to Europe. I think it is European wokeness that came here. Stanley says, UK hotels still provide a continental breakfast after Brexit. Question. Dan Ben says, the kissing football news. That guy pressured a woman to be in a video. She said no, and he kept asking the whole family. I don't know anything about that. All I saw was the kiss. Stanley says, how do those two things improve the quality of films? Don't worry about it. Jedi Bill, hello, Jedi Bill, Kapla. Says, hello, Bird of Prey 5. My PC might be dead forever. I'm upset. I may never, ever make YouTube content again. Bill, you'll be okay. The day will come, you will make YouTube content again. We'll figure out what's up with your PC. But even if it was dead, yeah, okay, the day will come, you'll be able to make content again. Stanley says making less and spending less isn't going to make movies better. Well, I mean, sometimes when you make it harder for people to make a movie, they actually come up with better stuff. Dan Ben says, in the UK, we have something called Megabus, which is a 1 pound version of a coach trip. You're getting a normal double-decker bus, no facilities, so it's not nice coach to journey across the country. We have like Greyhound, but I mean, it has a bathroom. It's a terrible bathroom, but it is a bathroom when it works. I mean, that's pretty much all it has. And that's the cheapest way to travel the United States is, well, by Greyhound or by similar bus service. Stanley says, Dan Ben, well, it's only like a 30-minute drive anyway. Not quite. It can take several hours to go north to south across the UK. And if you're in traffic, it can take hours as well. Arabic Sanders says, Kapla, Arabic. Dan Ben says, well, long journey can be 6 hours or more. It can be, it's more than 6 hours to go across New York State. It's 8 hours at least to go from New York City to Buffalo. The Traveler says, Trump looks scary, like he is pissed. He is, he's an angry Trump. And he's gonna bring his wrath down when he gets reelected. National Express is the coach, says Dan Ben. Okay. So let's head over to Dear Bops. Dear Bops. Dear Bob, parts of Texas is now in extreme drought. Schwario. P.S. I know this wasn't a question. If you have rain, send it our way. Send good vibes. I will, Schwario. I will. I am sending my good vibes. And you know what? I will send a Gelogia to Texas. I will pack up some Gelogia and send it to Texas. No, that's too much. You don't, I should keep the Gelogia. Okay. I'll keep the Gelogia, but I will, any extra water, I will ask we send it to Texas. You know what? Maybe, well, I was going to say, maybe you could ask the mayor of New York to send water, and maybe you guys, and don't get me wrong, I understand why you're doing it, and I even support you for doing it. But now that we have something you want, maybe if you guys stopped sending your migrants to New York, you could ask New York to send you some water. I'm just saying, maybe you could do that. I like it though. I think you should keep sending the migrants, because fuck them. Not the migrants, the New Yorkers. JP says essentially Bird will piss on Texas. Stanley says, why would you want to go to Buffalo? Well, Stanley, because it's not Manhattan. The further you can get from New York City, the better you are. Now, I'll grant you, Buffalo might be a little too far. You can get half the distance to Buffalo and be very, very happy. But yeah, I grant you, Buffalo isn't the nicest part of New York. But
Excuse me.
yes,
Newsflash.
yes, Mama Pray. Newsflash. Newsflash.
We have at least 15 that I counted tomatoes on that tomato plant in the front yard.
We have 15 tomatoes on a tomato plant that grew, a wild-born tomato plant
I didn't
that
plant
grew in the front of our house. Are they ripe?
They're green, but they're big. They're not ripe yet. I was just getting stuff
Squirrels are going to steal
hold it
them.
up. Well,
I don't know. How do you do with tomatoes? You hold them off the ground?
that's what I was trying to do because it was flopped over.
Yeah.
The last time I looked, it was 3 little tomatoes. Now there's at least 15.
The
Might be
rain.
more. Huh?
It's the rain, I guess. No.
Something is making this stuff grow unbelievable this week.
No. I don't know that. I wouldn't eat them. I wouldn't eat them.
No, I really hope the squirrels get them.
Somebody's going to get them.
Do birds eat tomatoes?
I don't know. I'm not a real bird.
Oh, you're not.
JP says you better harvest them before the squirrels get them. No, Mama Pray wants the squirrels to get them.
Because I don't know what was in that dirt. I swear we poured stuff to make the last plant roots die because of this. I don't know.
Sci-Fi Nations, I heard NYC has the best natural source of water possibly in the country. We do. We do. We get them from the reservoirs, from rainwater from the Catskills, as in taste and quality, purity. The Travelers, this bird is not a real bird. You heard it here. Dear Bob, how do I make a woman fall in love with me? Well, I can tell you how not to make a woman fall in love with you. Don't tell her you love her. Whatever you do not tell her you love her until you've been out on at least a few dates. Don't write her a handwritten letter, mail it to her house, and confess that you've been madly in love with her for the past year. Don't tell her that you think about holding her from behind in the kitchen of your future house with future kids and just putting your arms around her and holding her tight. Don't tell her that. Don't sing a song. God, don't sing a song. For God's sake, don't try to sing her a love song. Don't buy her a dozen long stem red roses, and don't leave it taped to her dorm room door on a weekend her boyfriend is in from out of town. Don't say her name over and over and over again. Don't keep her photo in your wallet for a year. JP says, this guy, enough with the don'ts. Well, I don't know. I can only tell you the don'ts.
Did you get Wordle?
Yes. We got Wordle. It was a group effort. As to how to do it, I unfortunately, it takes a lot of work. The point that if it takes that much work, is it actually worth it? Really, you should only worry about the ones that don't take work. They already are after you. But it's very rare that you get a situation that they feel as strongly for you as you feel as strongly for them. Usually it's one or the other. And that is depressing. Dear Bob, when will you do more Twilight Zone? I will try to do it more this weekend, but I can't promise. Although, since Sisso, well, I don't know. Sisso Frey is in Maine, but she does come back at some point. I don't. She's flying into Newark Sunday.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, it's okay. Highly doubt we'll see Sisso Frey this weekend. Maybe, but even that I cannot promise. JP says I could volunteer some dues, but yeah, just fell ass over into my relationship, and I was pursued. So there you go. If you're not being pursued, it's extremely difficult. Dear Bob, can you tell us an offensive story? I mean, yes, I could tell you an offensive story. So there you go. Yes, I could. It's a good thing you didn't ask, will I? Or please tell us. You just said, could I? So the answer is yes, I could.
You know, I thought of that this week.
You thought of it this week?
Yeah,
right?
all my stories would offend somebody. So I have no more stories to tell.
Mama Frey has no more stories to tell.
Because I don't want to offend anybody.
Because she doesn't want to offend him. Dear Bob, this Dear Bob was self-written. What does that mean? It means that it has no author, at least in the way that is normally thought of. You see, this text came from a computer that had an AI running for a very long time. The AI was told to type text in random order. Each time a word would come up, it was saved. If the letters were not the formal word, it would delete it. You see, To give a text an author is to impose a limit on that text, to furnish it with a final signified what, and to close the writing. For a text to have no author is to allow natural processes to run their course. Strong text will survive and reproduce, while weak text will die out. Every book object should necessarily be self-contained and self-defined. This is stupid. So if you are the type of person who likes to take things apart, you could just easily read it backwards and deconstruct the text, reverse engineer the letter. In the end, the story would be the same. The reader is free to do whatever he wants with the text codec. This text is not telling you what to think or how to read or perceive it. This text codex is a snapshot and anthropological cross-section of the mounting accumulation that came before it, frozen in place and time. Thank you for reading the text that wrote itself. This text will be deleted and forgotten. Well, it will certainly be forgotten. JP says the question should be, will he? JP says mop stories offend no one. And Captain Fandom Nerd says Birdo Prey 5, Mamo Prey stories offend no one at all. And JP says that sounds like an LDG AI posting. It sure does. It sure does. Okay, I guess we're going back to, can I tell an offensive story? Yes. We'll do a very short offensive story. Once upon a time, there was an ant. Oh, there was an ant named Osmosis. No, that's not going to be offensive. So when I was a little kid, I remember a certain family member, not blood related, was wearing a very skimpy bathing suit. Now, we all had pools in the family and we'd go to beaches. So I used to see family members in bathing suits fairly often as a kid. But this was the first time, and I didn't understand what I was looking at or why there would be a very dark black round hair sticking out of this particular part of a woman's bathing suit. But as God is my witness, a very young Birdo Prey knew something was out of place. And it was only years later did I realize what was hanging out was a pube. A certain person in my family, you know, they were adult. They were an adult. They were a young adult, but they were an adult. I was a child. But I was looking, and something was off. And it was only years later that I realized that before somebody wears a bathing suit like that, they're supposed to be waxed. And apparently, this family member was a little either late in waxing or had been a little too long or hadn't quite waxed enough. And like the whole day went by and nobody told her that she had this pube sticking out her bathing suit bottom. I couldn't see anything else. I couldn't see anything else for the whole fucking day. All I saw wasn't this person who I knew as a loved one. Again, not blood related, so don't worry. But all I saw was a walking pube. I didn't even know what pubes were at the time. I didn't have pubes yet. JP says, tell us a story about the white horse. The white horse? Which horse? Mr. Ed? Jim's Landscape says, hail the Captain Phantom nerd. JP says, side bush, the side of bikini. Yes. Yes, it was. It was one round, dark black pube out of the side of a white bikini. It was total white. It was just a single one. JP's is not offensive, but funny. Well, I mean, I'm sure I could say it in an offensive way. Dear Bob, I need your help. My wife is mad and yelling. So to calm her down, I told her she was acting like her mother. I have now just doted the 6th frying pan she has thrown. Yeah, wasn't a smart move. Was not a smart move. You might be able to kiss and make up by telling her it's kiss and make up day. Maybe buy her a banana split. And if that doesn't work, book her a trip to Uruguay. JP's the white horse that fell in the mud puddle. I don't know what that story is, JP's. I mean, did I tell you guys the story of the picture with the white horse? But that's not offensive. I mean, my friend kind of gave it an offensive title, I suppose. I don't even remember telling you guys that story. I might have. I probably did, now that I think of it. But that I wouldn't say that's offensive. So it's this picture of horses running in the wild, running across, you know, the grass. There's got to be 24 horses, all of them brown, but one white horse right in the front of the pack of horses. And my friend, upon seeing this painting, it's called The Rebel Herd by Mario Bertorno. I have the title. I have the title here. The Rebel Herd by Mario Bordi, B-O-R-D-I. Anyway, my friend, upon seeing this picture hanging in the Adirondack house for the first time, looked at it and said, he titled it A White Man in Harlem. And I laughed. And everybody who was there laughed. And that included people who were not white. And I think it was fine. I think under the guise of humor, it worked. It was funny. And you see, I mean, you know, when you look at the horses, you think all these horses are running together. You might even say, well, the horse at the front might have been leading the pack. But when he says it that way, you wonder, maybe he's being chased. Who's to say? I don't know. You don't know. Mario Bordi doesn't know because he's probably dead. I think. I have no idea. I assume he's not alive. We had the picture in the family for over 50 years. And it wasn't till my friend came up and saw it maybe 20 years ago did it get that title. It is now the unofficial title. Instead of The Rebel Herd, it's an artist's rendition of A White Man in Harlem. JP says, you never say that, been there, done that. It's an old dirty joke. JP says it was the 24 brown horses and one white horse. So it was 24 brown horses, about a couple of dozen. I'm looking at it right now. Maybe it's a dozen. Maybe it's a dozen brown horses. And honestly, if you look close enough, there's a couple of white horses in the background, but they're tiny. You don't see them right away. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's Dave Chappelle. It's Dave Chappelle humor. And JP says, I need to make a meme of that. I will post a picture to Twitter. I will post the picture to Twitter, in a little bit. Anyway, I think we will call it a day. Thank you guys for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's called The Rebel Herd. I'm typing it in. The Rebel Herd by Mario Bordi. You can get it. If you Google it, it'll probably come up on eBay. You can get what it looks like on eBay. The Rebel Herd by Mario Bordi. Anyway, have a great weekend, all. I'll be around. I'm more awake now than when we started. So, mission accomplished. Farewell, Mike Richards. Kapla all. Bird out.